Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
About Lindsey Graham, you said Lindsey Graham was willing to shank the Ukrainian people because his yam-dyed daddy told him to. So watching him sit there thanking Trump for the aid getting passed is next level insane. I mean, it is just constant gaslighting. He gave Trump credit. Trump did everything he could to stop this Ukraine aid from passing.
1,000%. And now Trump's like, well, the reason that the loan structure is in there is because of me. And it's like, no, absolutely not. But Lindsey Graham, even Trump went after him last week. Lindsey Graham is so pathetic. He's so feckless and he's so busy supping at the under, you know what's of Trump. Yes. Can't see his way out. He's like, he has always said he stood with Ukraine. And then all of a sudden Trump said, no, I don't want to do that. And Lindsey abandoned them. He voted no on giving aid to Ukraine, and now all of a sudden it's Trump's genius that got us this far. It's insane.
Don't you wonder what's happening though in this like shadow presidency that they're calling it? You know he's talking to Putin, Trump. You know he's talking to MBS. God knows what Netanyahu. I mean, I think there are forces I'm sure we don't even know about yet. I mean, he is on tape admitting. Colluding with our enemies to raise gas prices before the election. I mean, I just wonder, if he told Putin, never mind, if you help install me again in 24, I'll just give you Ukraine. Mm-hmm. So, who knows what's happening behind closed doors, right?
Well, right. And what we do know about Trump that we don't even have to guess about is that he sees these as, pathways for him in terms of attaining power or achieving something for his own political needs, because he extorted Zelensky. Like, we know that this is the way that he thinks because we've seen it. He was impeached for it because he figured, well, I can get something out of this foreign leader. I do this quid pro quo, not a quid pro quo, but this is how he thinks. So it's certainly not beyond the capacity of our imagination that he would be coordinating with the world's worst actors like Putin and Netanyahu, like Kim Jong-un, like MBS, like, Xi, who he says nice things about and then says at the same time that Biden's in their pocket. It's crazy.
Yeah. Because I know that you marinate in this like we do. Do you think he will ever go away? Because it's just like Jody and I are saying, just like he's this little like psychotic orange cuckoo clock that pops out of the courtroom and he does this little tiny accordion every day. And he says the exact same thing every day, which very unfair. Just the repetition alone. Don't you feel like, I can't even imagine that some of his sycophants aren't getting just exhausted with this.
That's the thing too. I said the same thing. I said, can we just play a recording of one of these and just play the damn thing if he's going to say the same thing every single time, some with less energy than others? As far as like being rid of him, I don't understand what is happening with like science. Like, how is his body sustaining?
Yeah.
What is he running on? Like, I don't know. I feel tired sometimes, and I'm not that guy.
Well, I got his arteries. I'm like, he's there. It's being reported. He's at levels of fury unknown even to him that I'm like, how long? Exactly. It's a race between, right. I don't know, the legality, his arteries. I'm not really, but it's just so exhausting. I was only thinking because OJ just died, obviously. It's the only time I can remember. And at least that was a finite period of time where that's all anybody talked about. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're in the talk radio business, that, but this is like, I was thinking, what year are we on now, Jody? Of what's the story? Trump. The story is Trump. It's just, and you can't avoid it because he's the, mm-hmm. This ridiculous party has made him their candidate. I just
and these I will admit the things that I was wrong about, and I foolishly believed that like we'd be done with him after he lost, after the insurrection. I've overestimated the Republican Party so badly.
Oh my God!
I never thought that they would see that guy.
It's like a yes, it's like a Flintstones background meets a bad acid trip. It's just like he's going to lose this time, and then he's going to keep whining that it was stolen and rigged. And I'm like, will this ever end? Is this just going to he'll incite another insurrection? And I just. We were saying this one today. A new filing in the classified document case reveals, what's his name? Co-defendant Walt Nauta, that Trump promised him a pardon even if he gets charged with lying to the FBI. Well, there's another crime. There's another obstruction count on top of he won't stop criming either. So,
he can't stop criming. It's like his whole vibe. But he can't stop criming because he's gotten away with it. hate saying that the whole frigging Teflon thing is accurate, but you're just like, what is happening here? I mean, he had boxes of our nuclear secrets next to his toilet.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? He's still walking around. That trial may never even happen.
I know.
Yeah, and they're going to be arguing whether or not he's completely and totally immune from everything always.
I mean, it's funny you say the Teflon Don, and they said, yeah, they used to say that about John Gotti, and they said they thought justice was never going to come, and then it came all at once. And it could, but I guess the only difference is he wasn't president, and he didn't have a whole party that was corrupt, that was propping him up and acting as his defense, including all the way up to the Supreme Court. So I just feel like what did Jimmy Kimmel call it? We're in uncharted territory here.
Yes, we are.
The shard of the deal. I can't believe he got to that before I did.
I'm mad about Godfarter. I wanted Godfarter.
I know, right? What was today that is the day Don Snorleone truly became the Godfarter. Yes, that's...
Wasn't that Black Knight?
Black Knight. We stole that from
Yeah,
Black
we
Knight,
did.
yes. Well, you know what? I feel like this whole Trump... Well, first of all, happy Shark Week and happy Pecker Day. I feel like this whole storyline was written for us, for you and me, because your tweet was my favorite. You said he can't stay awake for 5 minutes. He smells up the courtroom with his rancid flatulence. He won't look at the jury. Not one member of his family is there to support him, and he looks like this. Who the is like, yep, that drug-addled Oompa Loompa loser should be president again. I think this is the best campaign ad ever. Just what we're seeing, right?
Honestly, if you had asked a 14-year-old boy to write like a script, this is what it would look like. He's farting, he's falling asleep, he's orange. We're talking about porn stars and peckers and gagging. I mean, it's like the writers are drunk. Go home.
Yes, you said, wait, are you telling me that Pecker is going to spill it while Trump, who can't stay up, is begging to get ungagged? What the kind of movie is this? I mean, and then what was the other? Oh, was that Agent Carol? The insurance company was called Chubb. Which,
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if, they have Chubbies. Is that their awards every year? I don't know. But it's...
Well, I don't think Stormy described his as much of a chub, but...
So you just wrote, wah ha 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 ha. I just heard that Trump is mad at the world because he has to sit in a courtroom and behave for a few hours. What a see. I mean, I think that's what it is. It's blowing up. He just looks like what he is. He looks like a sad, tired, grumpy old man.
Right. And this is all due to his own, depravity. This has been building. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to him. And all it is that he has to shut up and sit down in a courtroom and listen to someone tell him what to do for a couple of hours, a couple of days a week. And it's like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to him.
Yeah.
Such a big baby.
Well, we were saying, for a malignant narcissist, I feel like this is already his sentence, no matter what happens in the trial, because he lives in this bubble where he only listens to people that praise him and kiss his ass. And this is the real world. And I think it's like, you can see it on his face that he is not used to having to sit there and listen to mean things about him.
And again, he has to behave. He can't look at his phone. He can't say mean things to people who he has to listen to say terrible but true things about him. I mean, I don't understand how he's going to manage to avoid jail this entire time, because he's already unhinged and he hasn't even heard all of Pecker's testimony yet. He was going crazy before there were even anybody.
Yeah.
How's he going to sit there and listen to this?
I know. When Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels get up there, I just feel like he's just going to blow. It's going to... I mean, you said Trump...
It shouldn't take long, then. It should take about less than 2 minutes, I think.
You said on Threads, Trump needed to coordinate with the head of a tabloid to hide his affairs with women from the public. But yes, of course I need to buy his Bible. I mean, storyline you can't write. I believe adultery is one of the things mentioned in the Bible. And he sold the Bible to pay for, the lawyers that are defending him from the adultery. Right. It's not important now. I mean, I don't, we were just saying the breaking news this morning, Joe, is that the attorneys are not asking. He's violated the gag order 10 times, but they're not asking for jail. I mean, we had Renato Mariotti on this morning who said, everybody just, he's not going to get jail. But I'm so sick of us just assuming, of course there's two systems of justice. And of course, what would happen to anybody else is not going to happen to Trump.
Exactly. I mean, again, they were saying this morning, whatever they decide in these 10 instances, whether he violated the gag order and what the penalties will be, he's going to do it again. And the reason he's going to do it again is because he gets slapped on the wrist every time. And then the question is, when he does it again, after these 10, because he will, then what? Because the usual remedy would be jail. Is that going to be the remedy for this person? Because it has to be. But they don't expect it to be. And it's, again, that's 2 tiers of justice when they talk about Hunter Biden. And we have a guy sitting there who's violated a gag order at least 10 times in the span of a week and a half, and he's still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that not one member of his family is there, but they're on Fox News lying and whining about what's happening to Daddy. But of course, they won't show up.
Right. And his own lawyer said yesterday, just a family man. He's just a regular guy. Like, none of family is there.
He's just a family man. None of his family will be with him for any of his criminal trials.